Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Cryptic Poet posting this inverted head and shoulders formation on the XRP chart, 4-hour time frame, guys. Take a look at this pattern here. It's looking as though this is what the XRP chart is forming, and I can see it here even on my chart. You guys can see that inverted shoulder, the head, inverted head, and the second shoulder. Obviously, though, we got to get across this neckline in order to really take off, and so the neckline is here technically. It did wick up back in here in this level here on April the 28th, and that was a high of about 0.487. So we're almost there. We have been seeing some excellent activity for XRP over the last couple of days. This is XRP again on the 4-hour. Let me throw it on the 1-hour here, guys, and you guys can see yesterday afternoon we did see XRP move up. We have currently seen a correction to the downside, so now we're looking at that micro time frame here, and as you guys can see here, we are forming a bullish pennant pattern. So now what we have to do is make our way up past this level of resistance over 47.487. And guys, I mean, the SEC lawsuit verdict is going to have a lot to do with where we see XRP price go in the near term. I also kind of just wanted to mention this tweet here, not that it is a prediction or anything like that, but John Deaton has noticed something. XRP sits at 48 cents, and it's crazy to think about how many people who refuse to buy it now are going to buy it over $1. So for whatever reason, you know, people have this psychological way about them where they think, oh, I'm not interested in this yet. I'm going to wait it out and I'm going to wait for this thing to pump. And, this is what gets FOMO going, guys, in the market. This is why people get excited when they start to see huge moves. What happens then is it perpetuates. More people jump in. This is when you get every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the space. These are the newbies, the FOMOers. And this is when you need to get out of these particular cryptocurrency positions. Now, in this particular market for XRP specifically, it is going to be a tough call because we're going to get the verdict. We're going to get FOMO for sure. And, that is going to play a role in where XRP price goes next. Now, one of two things could happen. It could die off, similar to what we saw for, Pepe coin. Let's just bring up Pepe real quickly here. And bring it on the 1-hour. You guys can see that FOMO did die off fairly quickly after everybody was hyping and talking about Pepe. I mean, if you bought anywhere up here, now you're underwater. Even if you bought anywhere in here, you are still roughly even Steven. So not really a good investment if you're making 0%, right? So where was I? Let's bring back up the XRP chart. One of two things could happen. FOMO could kick in similar to what we saw for Pepe, and we could see the market retrace back. I guess that is kind of a classic FOMO example. How high could it go? Well, I mean, it is still anybody's guess. John Deaton is saying, people will refuse to buy it now, but then they're going to buy it over $1. What's even more crazy is that FOMO won't likely kick in until $2. So could you imagine if we saw XRP go right back up to $2 and then real FOMO kicks in? So that's one option. The other possibility, which I think would be a better scenario, obviously, is that the XRP price pump could spur on a bigger bullish trend, which could get other altcoins up, which would get the total 2 market cap up as well. So total 2, for those of you guys who do not know, this is the entire crypto market minus Bitcoin. So what it could mean is, XRP starts pumping and the rest of the coins start pumping in conjunction with XRP, especially coins like XLM that are very similar to XRP. And then based on that macro crypto event, we would see even more FOMO pour into the market because, there are definitely retail investors that are not terribly interested in XRP. Nevertheless, and ironically, they would still be getting into the market because of XRP if it does in fact spur on a grander, greater overall cryptocurrency altcoin trend, or maybe Bitcoin would follow too. I mean, we're just kind of spitballing here. These are just some possible options. The other thing I wanted to mention too was this guy's from K. Kim. Is this a possibility? So he's bringing up the NASDAQ Composite Index, okay? Bringing us to 2023. So this is the current chart. Look at where we saw the NASDAQ back in 2019 and 2020. And he's mentioning this because back in 1979 and 1980, we saw similar chart patterns for the NASDAQ. 1983, we saw a bottom similar to what we saw in 2022, or rather similar to what we're seeing now. But we are seeing the market rally, okay, for the NASDAQ. And guess what happened in 1983, guys? The market did move to the upside. So, the NASDAQ represents a lot of these technology stocks, and cryptocurrency and technology go hand in hand. So Could it mean that that could spur on even more crypto activity? Real Vision founder and macro expert Raoul Pal is doubling down on his stance. This coming from Michael Branch here on Twitter. He says a clear bull trend is about to manifest for crypto and technology stocks. So going back to this chart here, looking at the technical analysis, but also getting an opinion from macro expert Raoul Pal. He's doubling down on his stance that crypto and tech are going to see explosive bull runs. Pal tells his Twitter followers that the NASDAQ, which indexes mainly technology companies, is an example of a non-stop macro uptrend that always catches traders off guard. Pal's chart suggests that the NASDAQ is trading well at a discount and likely destined for much higher prices. The biggest and most persistent macro trend on Earth is the one that gets us the most pushback from many. This is a quote from Raoul Pal, the exponential age of technology. It cannot be clearer. So he's posting the NASDAQ here. You guys can see that chart and you can see that pattern here just kind of coming out of that bearish trend and what is looking like that uptrend here. So we saw it here and we did see it again in 1983. Not that the market is going to repeat itself to a T. However, history can generally tell us a lot, whether it's politics or social events or finance, whatever it ends up being. All this is, guys, all these bars are, by the way, on this chart is psychology, okay, printed on the chart. This is just human decision being printed on the chart, and it's interesting how much we see patterns in this human decisions to buy, decisions to sell, based on, people's feelings, people's sentiment. And this is why, in trading, we go against what we feel, that, emotion of euphoria. Oh, I'm going to keep holding because whatever crypto is going to go higher. That's when you should generally sell. Or the opposite, the crypto market's down. Oh my goodness, look how low my portfolio is. Well, that is the time to buy. Raoul Pal continues by saying the secular bull trend in technology is what he's calling the exponential age, and it will be partially led by crypto assets. Remember, in the exponential age thesis, assets with a secular adoption trend, crypto and tech, outperform the global liquidity cycle and all other assets. There will be corrections and all the dips will be bought. Besides Bitcoin, Pal has previously called for a new higher leg for Ethereum and Solana. He says, even though Solana was decimated by FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, it was one of SBF's big picks back in the last bull run. He says Solana looks like it's getting ready to make its next move higher after a period of consolidation. Following the inverse head and shoulders breakout in April, Solana was a big bet at GMI this year and is up nearly 150% year to date. The bigger takeaway, though, guys, is that he's saying the NASDAQ and cryptos are likely going to rally together. So, when we see the NASDAQ looking to move to the upside, we're looking at other cryptos like XRP and Bitcoin. Actually, we've already taken a look at the XRP chart. Let me bring up the Bitcoin chart here for you guys. Bitcoin was also moving yesterday. We were getting news. Well, I'll bring up the news in a second. So yesterday, Bitcoin was trading at 27,100, and now we're seeing a Bitcoin price. Even though it has come down a little bit, we're seeing a Bitcoin price of just under $28,000, so $27,900. And this, as we've gotten news on the debt limit. So Metal Lawman here on Twitter bringing this to our attention. It appears that the debt limit is not being increased. It is being suspended. So there will be no limit on how much debt the U.S. can incur over the next 2 years. So we were wondering about what they would do with, the debt ceiling. Are they going to lower it, raise it? But here's what they ended up doing. No explanation given on how the new debt limit will spring into existence in 2 years. But Bitcoin is rallying on the news. Current estimates are only a $4 trillion increase in debt in the next 2 years, but there's no way to know. Entitlement spending and interest on the debt will drive the total, and those numbers will come in hot if unemployment picks up or interest rates remain flat or go higher. So that coming from Metal Lawman, Bitcoin was in fact rallying on the news. So just bringing it back to the Bitcoin chart real quickly here, you guys can see Bitcoin was in fact rallying yesterday afternoon, okay, bringing us closer to a new high for Bitcoin. And we've been taking a look at this trend over the last little while, and we've been seeing that, the trend has just been continuing to move up and up. So the high point here for Bitcoin, obviously the narrative is positive. High point here is about $31,000. We got to get above that. We did see that former resistance level right back in here. So that was in and around last year, May, June 2022. And we're almost there, guys. We're, a year of, really kind of dumping, and, now we're coming out of it, and it is looking very, very positive. And I got to tell you this story yesterday. I was out for dinner with my family, extended family, and we were all sitting around. I was talking to my cousin, and the waiter comes out, and he looks at my hat, and I don't know, you guys probably have seen it. You can't really see it that well here, but I've got an XRP hat that I know some of you guys have been wondering about. I custom made this one for myself, so I do not sell it on the site, but I've been hearing a lot of you guys are interested in getting one of these. So, I don't know. Tag me on Twitter maybe if you guys are interested in this. I don't know if it's worth me, taking the effort to make these if, there's no interest in people purchasing them. So, let me know whether it's Twitter or the YouTube comments section, anywhere where I will see your message. Anyway, the waiter saw me wearing this hat and he said, "Nice hat, man." And later on, I was like, "Yeah, buddy, XRP." He's like, "Yeah, generational wealth, bro. XRP to the moon." I go, "Oh my goodness. This guy is part of the XRP community." There are a lot of us out there, guys. This is just the beginning. We're seeing a prime opportunity right now for the NASDAQ. It's just starting to move up. We've got Raoul Pal saying, this is going to bring cryptos up with it. And so this is why I'm getting really excited about trading, and I'm offering a Patreon, guys, only $5 a month. You can follow my trades on Patreon. I'm going to be trading and posting videos on the day that they occur. And if this is something you guys are interested in, I'm not trying to push this on all my subscribers or anything like that. If this is something you guys are interested in, I do urge you to sign up now because the market is, I think, as good as it's going to be right now. So what I'm doing is I'm diversifying, I'm trading different coins, and we're going to ride these coins up. Hopefully some of them pop sooner than the entire bull market pops, but we don't really know. So we're gauging them. We're going to look at the different possibilities. I've already posted about anywhere between 10 to 15 of my picks. These are not coins that include XRP or Algorand or BTC for that matter. These are other picks where I've taken a look at some of these coins and thought to myself, these might rally in the next run. So only $5 a month. I think it's actually pretty good value if you guys are trading and want to watch me trade these coins during this bull run. I'm going to keep moving along, guys. I don't know if you heard this story. Apparently a TikToker mortgaged his house for $500,000 to buy XRP and is now losing money. This coming from James Rule on Twitter. And he did this back in February of 2022. So the author of the article here was doing the math. As of the time of his XRP investment, the coin was trading at 69 cents, and the fear and greed index at that time stood at 23. Somebody was calculating this, suggesting that if he did in fact do what he said he was going to do, he would be $150,000 in the red. So still, relatively early to have been, cost averaging down your XRP, although we were in and around here at this point in time. Some were assuming, the market could have gone higher, but of course this was, kind of about a third into that bear market. And, we still not have seen higher highs. So I hope he's doing okay. Wanted to keep moving because Jeremy Hogan has also given some insight on secondary market sales of XRP. He said this, there's been a discussion about how and if secondary market sales of XRP will or won't be addressed in the Ripple case. It's important because we are only confident XRP will be relisted on exchanges if the issue of whether XRP is inherently a security is addressed. It may or may not be. Listen to this, Although the SEC's lawsuit contains language suggesting that if XRP itself is a security, like a share of a stock, the SEC's request of the court in the lawsuit does not request anything that would confer this status on the asset because it's ridiculous, but I digress. He says the problem is that it is likely the judge will not even address the issue since it's not explicitly raised by the plaintiff. And although you can argue that it's thereafter addressed by omission, would that be enough for the exchanges? We don't know, but there is hope. So that could also, impact what the exchanges decide to do. First, Ripple could obtain an agreement from the SEC to include, or the judge could approve language provided by Ripple in its proposed final judgment, that the judgment does not cover secondary sales. The Kick Interactive case, for example, got the SEC to allow the language below about continuing sales, and you guys can read that down there. Second, though, the judge could address the concerns raised by numerous amici in regards to secondary sales, including those championed by XRP holders led by John Deaton. Apparently, the judge in the library case has agreed to address secondary sales at some level, so we will see. And finally, the judge could be forced, if Ripple loses, to address secondary sales at the penalty stage when a disgorgement order would have to be drafted. Why? Because the judge must review the distribution of disgorged profits for fairness, and so the court must delineate who receives the funds taken from Ripple. It's at that point that Ripple can argue that only actual purchasers from it directly and not secondary purchasers should receive their investment back. This is required by the SEC versus Wang case. So citing another case there, the court would likely agree because otherwise the disgorgement would be so diluted due to the large amounts of secondary sales that any individual purchaser would receive pennies or less on the dollar, and this, in effect, a ruling as to secondary sales. So that is Jeremy Hogan's perspective on secondary sales. An interesting take done apparently at 3 in the morning yesterday, or this morning, I guess. I mean, we're waiting for so much to happen now. Wrath of Kahneman here also bringing this to our attention with regards to Tranglo. So in the Middle East, we're seeing that they are partnering with Al Ansari Exchange, a subsidiary of Al Ansari Financial Services. And these guys, get this guys, these guys have over 230 branches serving 3 million customers and processing over 130,000 transactions daily. So we're seeing Tranglo expand. This strategic collaboration, part of Tranglo's Middle East expansion program, will boost Tranglo's presence in the UAE, which is the second largest market for outbound remittances globally. We were wondering, earlier if they were going to be using Tranglo Connect for cross-border payments, and will ODL follow? So, we're keeping our eye on this. This story is ever evolving. Kashta down here bringing us this, expanding your network. So from the Tranglo website, Tranglo gives you full access to all our payments and methods. And as you guys can see here, integrating Ripple technology, remittance licensees, XRP wallet accounts. So utilizing XRP, Tranglo's USD crypto exchange, XRP to USD. This is how on-demand liquidity works, but we're still getting information coming. So wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. Mr. Hubert here also mentioning this, with regards to the Ripple companies that are being threatened by Ripple Tech. He asked AI to create a table of the largest companies ranked by their political influence that are threatened by Ripple's business model. And check this out, guys. JP Morgan at the top of the list. Banking and financial sector, then Visa, HSBC, Western Union, MasterCard, I'm just going to nail them off here, Citigroup, PayPal Holdings, Bank of America, Swift, and MoneyGram. Now, we know some of these companies are already Ripple enabled, so I'm not entirely sure how much I trust ChatGPT or any of these AI programs really, but it is taking into account all these companies that could be possibly impacted by Ripple. It's funny that they put JP Morgan right at the top here. Ripple's payment system can reduce the need for intermediary bank and international transactions, affecting banking giants' transfer fees. So using JP Morgan as an example here, we know for a fact that Western Union is or was on that list too. Ripple can provide faster, cheaper remittances, potentially disrupting traditional services. Swift, of course, is a big one. Ripple directly challenges Swift by proposing a faster, cheaper method for global money transfers. So, this AI technology, I guess it does get a sense of what we're asking, but in a lot of ways, the XRP community has been at this for a lot longer than this ChatGPT stuff has been around. So we still have the insider scoop. We know about all the partnerships, and a lot of these companies, as I mentioned before, are already Ripple partners. So not sure how much stock I put into this. Nevertheless, it is an interesting experiment here. So I did want to thank Mr. Hubert just for pointing that out. Guys, I don't know if you saw my video yesterday. I'll link it up here if you didn't catch it. Medico did post this on their Twitter account, and we were wondering what the heck was going on. Was it fake? There were so many people suggesting that it was a fake image and that it was photoshopped. But guys, look who ended up liking the tweet, none other than Brad Garlinghouse. So digital asset investor specifically was the one who posted this. And Brad Garlinghouse liked his tweet particularly, and this was the retweet that he posted: "Dimes to donuts, this thing is over," meaning the lawsuit. Otherwise, why would we see such a huge billboard here promoted by the NASDAQ? And Brad Garlinghouse was the one who decided to like this tweet. So, it's got to get you thinking, how close are we to a NASDAQ push, and is crypto going to rally along with it? Remember, guys, I'm going to be trading this bull market. I'm already in my positions. Some of these cryptos are actually lower than my initial entry. So if this is something you guys are interested in, following me on my trading journey, it's only $5 a month. And I hope you guys are all having a good weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend in the United States. I woke up today reflecting about a feeling of appreciation for all that this country has accomplished and what it hopefully will. Thankful to those who have served and lost their lives so we could have this life. Brad Garlinghouse, keeping it classy as always. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. Oh my God, you can't be serious. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.